Hello guys, welcome to my channel Talk with Shiva. And today our guest is performance marketer who manage the ad across in e-commerce, SaaS, B2C or B2C or B2B. And he know exactly why some campaign grow up very fast and why some campaign crash. And he managed to all size of company and brands across in Dubai. And he have an agency in Dubai of digital marketing. And today we're gonna learn so many things from him and about the campaign, about digital marketing, and why some ads click and wise crash, everything. And of course, we're gonna talk about some AI tools and how we can implement them thing to grow our digital marketing agency. Welcome to my show, Farooq. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much, Shiv Kumar or Shiva Kumar. I'm sorry, I'm not able to pronounce it properly, but thanks a lot for inviting me today for this session. And I really wish you all the best for the thing that you're doing. You're doing an amazing job. The vision that you have to do podcast with different industry experts to, have them on your podcast and then tell the audience about most of the things that are happening in this industry. I think this is really good that you're trying to do, and I really wish you best of luck in this. Thanks a lot. So my career actually started. It's a very small story. I'm gonna tell you. It's a small story. My career actually started in 2018 before COVID. I just graduated and I was very confused what I should do because at that time before COVID, everyone either doing engineering, masters or medical or going to civil engineering or going to different domains. But my father helped me pick this field, which is business administration. He said that maybe you should be like apply for this university and do business administration. And then I got enrolled in that. And when I later on in my degree, I got to know about marketing. Before my degree, I didn't know anything about marketing. I didn't know anything about digital media, performance marketing, digital marketing. I knew nothing. But then later on, when I was enrolled in my university, I got to know about digital marketing. Okay. I explored it in detail. I got to know this is a really amazing field in which you can build a very strong career. I mean, a digital marketer can make more money than an engineer or doctor. If you're in Pakistan, if you're in India, if you're in Bangladesh, you can outsource your services to a client who is sitting in Australia or US or Canada or Europe, and you can make more money than an average engineer makes per year or a doctor makes per year. So that was my starting point when I got to know about digital marketing. Started my career. I did a lot of coursing, had some great mentorship. I worked in a lot of agencies initially in my career. And after some point, I registered my own company initially in Pakistan, which was a digital marketing company. It was FS Digital, like Farooq Shafi Digital. Yes, it was FS Digital.
Pakistan.
Yeah, in Pakistan, I created the agency. Really did an amazing job there. I had a team of 3 to 4 freelancers there. We used to take clients. We used to do all the things for them, like social media, performance marketing, advertising, out of home marketing. We used to run a lot of campaigns with them. But then I realized that we need to go one step further. In Pakistan, we were very limited because one is that the client used to pay us in Pakistani rupee. We didn't have, because we were a Pakistani based companies, not most of the clients
Yeah.
trusted us who were sitting in United States, who were sitting in Australia, who were sitting in Europe, right? So then I started to feel like, we made really good profits in that small agency. We made like around 30-40 lakhs Pakistani rupees, and we were ready to start to go outside Pakistan. So we started this agency in Dubai. We registered a company, we registered an agency, and then we started working with the clients who are in UAE, like real estate companies or different restaurant businesses, different FMCG companies, and also D2C e-commerce brand. In Dubai, there are a boom in SaaS marketing as well. A lot of software as a service businesses are coming. The startups are going on. So we did pretty much good job with the help of my team. I have 3 to 4 people in my team. They're so great at what they do. And through that, we established a small agency. I wouldn't say that we are a very big agency, but we are doing very good.
Yeah.
And we are scaling gradually. Scaling is a process that happens with time. So we are doing good. And the only reason to join you in this podcast was only that you just have to tell your audience that you can do it even if you have no resources, right? When I started my career, I didn't have the right mentorship. I didn't have the right guidance. I was so confused. I didn't know who to reach out, how to reach out. I couldn't even speak properly. Right now, I'm speaking in front of you. I can speak with confidence. I know there is always room for improvement. I can definitely improve more. But if I see myself in the last 5 years, I personally believe that I have groomed my personality to 10x. Before 5 years, I was not even able to speak in front of anyone. I could not say a single word in English. Our primary language is yours is Hindi, mine is Urdu, right? So I could not even speak a single word in English in front of a client. If I get to had a meeting with a client, I would just simply, like speak without any sense. I would just say anything, blah, 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 and the meeting is done. And I'm feeling very underconfident after the meeting. This used to be the situation. So the reason to join you is so that I can tell people that if I can do something, you can as well, your audience can as well, anyone who's watching this video, even they can do it as well. And it only takes one thing, which is consistency and discipline. If you're consistent in your career, it doesn't matter if you're in performance marketing or if you're into any other career. If you're consistent with it, if you're very disciplined with your goal and achieving your goal, you can definitely crack it. Anyone who is coming from a below average background, like I came from a below, I came from a family like a below middle class family, right? But then we have to jump to the upper class, right? This is what we want to do. Like if you want to grow in our life, if you want to grow in our career. So if I can do it, a person, a kid who is coming from a below middle class family, and he can definitely cross that status, I think anyone can do it. Okay. So that's the purpose.
Yeah, totally agree.
So performance marketing, if I tell you now, it's performance marketing has become the most needed and demanding, domain basically for any business, for any startup, for any company. Because earlier what used to happen is now that if you want to market a product, you have to go door to door, you have to do offline marketing, and it takes a lot of time to scale a brand. But with the help of performance marketing and platforms like Google Ads, Meta Ads, TikTok Ads, LinkedIn Ads, you can scale your company within fractions of a second. Right? You start a campaign and you start to see the results very next day. Okay, this is the power of performance marketing. So which is why if you look at the salaries of a performance marketer, even if USA or even if in Pakistan, they're exponentially high as compared to other professions. So this is what I have observed, and this is what motivated me basically to join this, to start my career into this. Because I was, let me be very honest with you, I was always very much oriented towards finance and towards doing a job in a bank, right? I have already done an internship in one of a renowned bank in Pakistan in 2018 basically. So that was my mindset, that I want to complete my business degree and I want to start working in a bank. That was mindset. But later on, when I started exploring, then I got to know there is more. If I was in a bank at the point by where I am standing, I would be earning like maximum 80,000 PKR, 90,000 PKR, not more than that. I can guarantee you that, right? But the jump that I make, the moment I changed my mindset, I changed the decision and I explored about digital marketing, performance marketing specifically. Then I got to know that there are a lot of more opportunities. There are a lot of different, fields in which you can make more money. Plus, you can make a good personal brand as well. So this is how everything started basically.
Yeah, cool. Very, very great journey, inspiring journey. Like we have from Pakistan to small town with along with the low class family, and you jump into marketing, and then you go to Dubai, then you build a team from scratch. And I mean, yeah, really, it's too much hard work and discipline, definitely. Just going outside, outside in the country.
Yeah. And I always say one thing, Shiva Kumar, I always say one thing is that, s- a lot of people, when they look at me, they only look at me at the current stage, but they don't see the struggles and hard work which I have been through. If you want to, if there is someone, like I have around 7,000 followers on my Instagram, which is very less. I know I'm not very active there, but if there is someone sitting in a village and they look at me today and they say, I want to become like Farooq Shafi, he's doing very good in life, I want to become like him. They do not say the struggle that I have to go through. And everyone has to go through it, not just me. Even if you are starting from zero, even you have to go through that struggle, that phase. There's going to be a lot of up and downs, fluctuation in your career. Sometimes you're going very up, sometimes you're going down. So it's like a very bumpy ride. It's going to be. So
Yeah.
I always say everyone to make sure that you guys are doing two things. One, you guys are very, very disciplined and very consistent achieving your goals. So yeah.
Okay. But when you realize, like, okay, this is my niche and I have to stick to it, what's that your mind? Okay, I never have to leave this wish or this career. I have to catch this. When you the moment when you realize,
Okay. That was like when I used to work in an agency back in 2019. I used to work in an agency. It was a big digital marketing agency in Karachi.
yeah,
Uh, you know, when I actually got to know that the owner of the agency is making X amount of income, and then I am the one who is managing all of the accounts, doing the strategizing thing, who's executing the campaign, doing the delivery, doing the reporting, and I am only getting, like I would say 1/20th of the percentage of what he's making. That was the point. That if someone is making, let's assume if someone is making 100,000 and they are paying me 1,000, right?
yeah,
That was the point. Why I have to do all the struggling, all the hard work. I'm doing client onboarding, I'm doing the reporting, I'm doing campaign strategy, I'm doing the delivery, I'm doing the evaluation of the campaigns, everything. But the person, the owner who is on top of me, he's making 10x of the income that I'm making. That was the point. That I decided, Farooq, you have to do it on your own. You have to register your own agency and start building. I had no client. I had zero client at that time, but I registered a company. It took me like 5,000 rupees, Pakistani rupees. I started my own company, and then slowly it took me 3 months. It took me 3 months to get my first client. So
okay,
it's never take time. But let me tell you one thing. It took me only 1 week to get my second client. Right? So you're getting the point, right? It took me 3 months to get my first client and only 1 week to get my second client. So this is how you start to learn, and this is how you gradually scale. Right? This is the point that I'm trying to make. So obviously, when I started exploring, I got to know a lot of fields were getting obsolete. Like engineers, they're not getting jobs in Pakistan. A lot of doctors, even they have to like do their degrees for like 7 years, and then house jobs, and then their pay scale is also very, very minimal. So which is why I was like, this is really a good field which can definitely help me make some money.
yeah,
And then that was the point. I realized that I have to stick to this field only and at least do it for the next 10 years.
yeah, great. So about your strategy and the campaign. Or suppose some new brand come to you and tell you, okay, this is my brand. For example, I have my own T-shirt and hoodie brand. I come to you, and what the strategy? How do you plan to start my campaign or marketing? How do your strategy look like?
Okay. So see, every product has to be different from the other one. Even if you are from in the hoodie or a t-shirt in the clothing apparel industry, right? Every person likes to wear what they see on the internet, right? I'm wearing this shirt.
Yeah.
This is a very, very, like it's a very lightweighted shirt. I like to wear it every day almost. Now I have two, three different colors of this shirt, but I bought it from the internet. It's because of not because of the design. The design is very simple. It's because of the fabric, right? So their differentiator was the fabric, is the quality of the material that they're using to
Yeah.
do their shirts. Every company, if you come to me, you say, I have this X product and I want to sell it. What I will do is, this is the first thing that I will do. I will first ask them, what is their motivation to start this company? I want to understand what is the motivation of the founder to start a company before telling them that you should be able to do this, that. If the motivation of someone is to just sell a product and quickly make some cash, then I'm not going to offer them any consultancy, because I have to work with someone who has a long term vision. If you are committed to your brand, if you're committed to your product, then and only I will be able to help you out. Because this is how a brand is built. In long term, you build a sustainable long term brand, right? So I will take your product. I will, just like all the marketers, I'm gonna find a differentiator. We're gonna draft a story around your brand, because every brand sells with a story. If you have a very unique story, you're gonna sell to masses. So you have to figure out your own story. You have to figure out your differentiator, why someone would buy you and not from your competitor. That's the point you want to figure out. Right? If you are selling hoodies, then you have to figure out why my hoodie, not my competitor's hoodie. Is it the pricing? Is it the quality? Is it the brand? Is it the story? What I am different from my competitor? So this is the point we have to first take out from any product, and then we will design a marketing strategy around that. We'll create what I do. I'll give you a clear idea what I do. If I get the differentiator, we are gonna, like after the shoots and videography, everything, we're gonna design a high converting Shopify store for that brand. We're gonna do social media setup, like the whole setup, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all other social medias, have a proper branding, right? If there is a brand, if you want to build, you must have a color combination, color palette, brand guideline that you want to follow, your own topography, which actually stays in people's mind, right? If you look at Nike, if you look at anyone's clothing, they have a Nike mark here, like the mark that Nike have their on their shirts or on their apparel. So you will be able to guess it within a fraction of a second. This is what I normally do. Even with my own startup, I am actually building a new company in Dubai, which is First Squat. It is a premium gym and sportswear brand for men and women. This was my dream project, basically. So if you look at it now, if you look at the logo, you look at the branding, you look at the product, anyone who's watching this podcast, they can definitely visit our store, www.firstsquat.com.
Yeah.
Everything has a purpose. Everything has a meaning, which is why we designed it. It is not like we copied something from someone and we are just doing it. No. If you're building a brand, it has to have some meaning. It has to have some purpose in it. Then and only people will able to relate with you. Then and only they will be able to build a connection with you, right? Because a brand has to be connected with its audience on a mental level, on a physical level, on an emotional level, right? Then you will be able to create a long-term sustainable brand. So this is the point. These are the things that I do. Have them onboarded, look at what is their differentiator, figuring it out, doing the SWOT analysis, and then doing the website, doing the production work like videography, photography, professional shoots. And then comes the social media, promoting them, have a different and unique brand tone, create some viral content for them, follow the trends as well. Because some brands come to us and they say, we want to follow the trend and make sure that we're getting views. So we just simply take out the trends which are ongoing on social media and we incorporate those trends in their social media and we start to generate views, right? So this is a normal roadmap basically to onboard a brand and then tell them, these are the things that we want to do onwards.
Okay, cool, great. So, can you share any campaign story which do not work at the you start, but after you change the strategy and then 5x?
Yeah, so I had this brand basically. It's a beauty product basically.
Say it is beauty product.
Yeah, ladies beauty product. It's face serum. Okay, like the serum you apply on your face. So when they came to us, one major problem in all of their advertising platform, mostly on Google Ads, was that they were only getting brand traffic, right? So there is a difference between a brand traffic or a non-brand traffic. Okay, brand traffic is something that you already own. Someone who is going to Google and searching your name, XYZ company product, and they get to have your link on the top and they click on it and they buy it. That is called a brand traffic, branded traffic. because they already know about you and they are purchasing from you. But a brand should be investing in non-branded product, in non-branded traffic. If you have 20% of your budget on branded traffic, allocate 80% of the budget on non-branded traffic. If someone is on Google and they are searching for face serum, right, or face care product, then your website should be able to rank, right? So this was the negative point that I saw on their advertising account on Google, that 90% of the traffic they were acquiring was branded traffic and they had almost zero unbranded traffic. So we did a complete different campaign structuring. We created specific campaigns for them, which were filled and stuffed with keywords, with non-branded keywords. So we added those keywords, created some great ad copies, because to sell a face care or a beauty product or a enhancement product, you have to be very, very clear with the copies that you're writing, the ad text that you're writing. So we created them very specifically direct, targeted to the audience. That's how gradually it took us some time. It took us 1 to 3 months basically to gradually divert the branded traffic from the non-branded traffic. So initially the ratio was 90-10, and then we later on we did it like 80-20, 20% branded traffic and 80% non-branded traffic, which is a huge win. Because if someone already knows about your brand, you don't have to run brand campaign and invest a lot of money, because they already know about you. They're gonna directly come to your website and buy from you. You always have to, as a business owner, your initial goal has always to be target those people who don't know about you. Okay, and then convert them, right? Make them aware about your brand and then convert them, right? This should be the strategy. You can definitely design the funnel system, top of the funnel layer, then middle of the funnel, and the exit of the funnel layer. You can definitely devise a strategy around that and start doing the awareness. Sell some people inside your funnel and then, start converting them for your brand. So this is definitely the best way of doing it. This is the more structured way of running campaigns. Most of the time people are very confused and they think that running ads is very easy. You have to create an image, you have to write the copy, some headlines, some discuss, then you are good to go. But it is not that easy. That what people perceive it is, that you have to put some money in the ad campaign and you start getting results. Your results, the desired results that you want, takes time. It's definitely gonna take you some time. You will understand, the market, the response, the platform, how the platform works. It will take you some time. There are, Shiva Kumar, there are very few products who actually take off with very minimum marketing, but it has to be a very unique product that actually solving a problem, right? And I have personally seen some product in my life which with very minimum marketing, they just took off and they made millions of sales, right? So either your product is very good, but if your product has high competition, then your ads have to be very strong and your targeting.
Okay, got it, got it. What are the biggest challenge when you scale ad spend into small budget into a big budget for any brand?
The small budget is
Small budget into a high budget. Like you see, like some people brand come to you like, I have very small budget, but I want this type of campaign, but they do not want to spend money. Other side, other brand give more money, but they do not want to involve with you, like conversation, or they said they okay, take the money and do it for you. How you face that challenge both in both case?
So, most of the time what happens is that when a brand comes, they come with a very small budget, right? Because they're not making big money. If they were already making some money, they wouldn't come to a marketing agency. They would hire an in-house team and they will do their own marketing, right? Most of the challenge of the small business owner is that they have very less, either no sales, either very less amount of sale. So they come to agencies with a budget. Now, this is the responsibility of an agency owner to utilize their small budget and give them some ROI at least.
Yeah.
It varies. Product to product, market to market, it varies. Let me give you a very quick story now. There was a client of mine. He wanted to start a new unit basically. So they wanted to start a new unit in USA, and their budget was $100 per month. And I told them $100 per month and your ads targeted to USA is nothing. It's like less than peanuts, right?
Yeah.
You have to educate the client as well sometimes. Because what normally people do now, they say, okay, $100 per month advertising budget. Okay, I'll do it. I'll charge them money. Even if they don't get any results, I don't care about it. I'll just get the money. Right. But
Yeah.
my job is to educate them, let them know if your budget is $100 for US market and you're targeting the whole US, then it's nothing. Your budget should be minimum $100 per day. Then you are able to see some results at least, right? So sometimes it happens, you have to tell the client, you have to make them aware if because the client doesn't know about the technicalities, he doesn't know about how the market works. So
Gosh.
you should be able to do your job perfectly, make them aware, let them know, don't exploit them, never ever exploit the clients. That the first thing that is gonna put you in a bad circle. They're never gonna refer you to anyone. They're never gonna give you bad reviews on your profiles. So so that's a very very wrong move. Some people I have seen them personally, and that also like that feels so bad that they exploit clients. If they're getting any client from international market like Dubai or Canada or America or Europe, they just keep on exploiting them for 1 month, 2 month, 3 month. And later on, the client also realized that the person hasn't done anything. They were just charging me money and they were not doing anything for the brand. You have to be very committed. Shiva Kumar, let me be very honest. Scaling a brand or building a brand takes your blood and sweat. You have to spend day and night figuring out the marketing angles. You have to spend day and night figuring out your own targeted audience. So it takes a lot of time. If you think that you're gonna put some money, you're gonna give some money to Google, give some money to Facebook, give some money to TikTok, and they're gonna build your brand, that is never gonna happen. Never ever gonna happen. So this is why most of the performance marketer also fail to deliver.
Yeah. So yeah, Farooq, tell you what is the most important metrics you see while you are running a campaign and you adjust to get more better result.
Yes, so every campaign has a different nature. If it is an awareness campaign, then you are not gonna be looking at ROAS, or you are not gonna be looking at cost per lead, cost per purchase, right? So it varies. The calculation of metrics actually varies from campaign to campaign. So if you're, let's assume I am running a campaign for your product, what I will be looking at is what is the CTR, like is it above 5% or not? What is the CPCs, right? What is the average cost per purchase? What is the return on ad spend, right? What is like the link click cost, basically, to what is Facebook charging me. So these are the basic metrics that I'm gonna measure. What is your add to cart cost, right? What is your checkout cost, right? So this is how you calculate your campaign. Also, you can definitely see from A/B testing which of the campaign giving me, the CPM of the campaign is really lower as compared to the other one. So these are some KPIs like CPM, CPC, CPL, cost per purchase, and revenue, ROAS, and revenue per add to cart, revenue per checkout, cost per add to cart. These are the KPIs, but the KPIs only depend on the nature of the campaign. If it is a sales campaign, then the KPIs are gonna be this, which I just told. But if it is an awareness campaign, then you're gonna be more focused on the cost per impression, cost per click, cost per reach, cost per thousand impression, and your CTR KPIs like that. And the KPIs accuracy is very important. If you do not have a proper tracking mechanism in your ad account, you are never ever going to get accurate numbers. So first, this is a responsibility of all the media buyers to ensure that your Meta Ads account is connected with their Shopify, is connected with their Google Analytics account. You must have a proper integration towards all of the platforms so that you are able to track accurate numbers and then report them to the client. Because this is Shiva Kumar, this is a very big problem in the industry. Clients are not able to see accurate. See, they see 10 sales in Shopify, but Facebook is reporting 9. they see 20 sales in Shopify. For Google Analytics is reporting 4. This is the difference basically. So which is why I always recommend have a proper tracking mechanism. Make sure your attributions are perfectly tracking, and then you should be able to track accurate KPIs.
Okay, great. So KPI is the main important metrics.
Very important. Because this is because of the KPI you're gonna make informed decision. If your KPIs are wrong, you're gonna make wrong decision. It is that simple. Right KPI, right decision, wrong KPI leads to wrong decisions.
Yeah. So
हाँ, okay. कैसे अच्छा,
he makes and I saw that you are also content creator.
yes, yes.
This ad campaign. How do you mix your organic content? Do you mix a storytelling format? What is your strategy behind the content creation in LinkedIn? Because I find you from LinkedIn. That's why.
So okay. Every social media has a different format. As you already know, LinkedIn is specifically for, like B2B, professional, everything that is related to your profession, career oriented, founder led content. This is what I use LinkedIn for. And then social media, on social media, Facebook, Instagram, the tone is different there. So how I do it? If you look at my LinkedIn, I have created a personal brand, right? A personal brand is basically your self-made brand, how you want to showcase yourself into the market,
Yeah.
how you want to put yourself and showcase yourself as a professional. This is how you build a brand. Now, if you go to Google,
Yes.
like if you're in Pakistan, you go to Google and you write Farooq Shafi. So you're going to find everything related to digital marketing. Farooq Shafi's website, Farooq Shafi digital marketing, Farooq Shafi advertising, blah, 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 everything. So this is why if you go to Google, you write Farooq Shafi or even you write digital marketing, somehow you're going to find me on Google, right? You'll see Farooq Shafi if you're in Pakistan, right? So because it is only because of content, right? I'm posting content on website, I'm posting content on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Instagram. So this is how they get to know me. That this person is only talking about digital marketing. This person is only and only talking about media buying, performance marketing, that stuff. So which this is how people come to know about me. On LinkedIn, my content strategy is very simple. I do very crystal clear content. If I have made some progress in a campaign, I'll post it. If a client of mine has done a wonderful job, they're getting their desired results, I'm gonna post it. And some life lessons, I'm gonna post it. On Instagram, I try my best to create content around marketing, but I'm very lazy to do content on Instagram these days. I've slowed down a little bit, but I definitely want to come back, and it's gonna be very strong comeback. So I will do it for sure. I'm gonna do it. I know that. But Instagram, I'm gonna again start the Q&A session, which I used to do, where people used to ask me questions about marketing, performance marketing, and I used to answer them through Reels content. So I'm gonna start them again very soon.
Yeah, great, great. And what do you think? What makes a ad scroll stopping visuals when we create our reels and motion graphics ad? And what is psychology beyond that post? So people stop scrolling and watch that and create the motion graphic on that.
A lot of big brands are investing millions of dollars just to get attention. Okay.
Yes.
And they are they are investing billions of dollars, millions of dollars just to get consumer attention, because that is the most hardest thing to do on internet. If you have attention, you have a lot of things like attention. I heard someone saying that attention is the new currency. If you have attention,
Yeah.
you can make,
I also heard that.
right?
Yes.
So if
Yes.
you have attention, you can definitely cash it. You can make a lot of quick buck, right? Like there is a YouTuber in India. I see him. He's like, he has his own shop and he repairs, stove and oven and mixer, grinder, juicer.
Yeah. I have heard it. You just scroll the thing. Click.
So that guy, he's very funny. His videos are great. I watch him all the time in my free time. I love watching his content. So if you look at the quality of the content, it is zero. The quality is very bad. But how he's able to capture the attention is exponentially awesome job he has done. That how he's actually, like grabbing the attention. So I really love how that person is able to grab attention, and that is the hook. You have to do something around your brand to catch attention, right? So in an ad, if you want to create attention, you must have a purple cow. Purple cow effect is a marketing effect basically. Purple cow is basically like if there are 100 cars in a parking lot and all of them are white, but only one of them is black, your attention is definitely going to that one, the black one.
Yes.
Social media is very noisy environment. There is so many content creators, there are so many videos uploading every day. How do you make your place in that noise, in that, like that environment? That is what you want to work on. Every brand has to figure that out. What is going to be your hook which actually stops someone's scrolling and make them look at what you have done, what your video is about, right? So it takes a lot of research, brother. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of practice and it takes a lot of uploading as well. You're gonna upload 100 videos and then you're gonna identify, okay, these are the videos which gave me good results. So then you need to, like compound on those videos.
Yeah, but when brand come to you, we cannot test like 90, 100 feet. We have to give them a like maybe A, B to A section or B section. Well, then we run A or B, which run we stop the tail. So we have to two push.
So what we do in that situation is now we run parallel campaigns with a lot of ads, right? My strategy is mainly one campaign which is actually fighting the other campaign. So two campaigns at a time with two ad sets and then all the ads inside only one ad set of each campaign. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add 20 to 30 ads in one ad set in one campaign and I'm gonna make it live. And then I'm gonna come the first campaign is gonna compete to the next one. And that's how we later on figure out that which of the ad actually make the people stop scrolling and look at it and actually comment under it, maybe share it, maybe like the ad, maybe interact with it and convert it as well. So this is how we figure out that how we are going to create all stopping ad or not. And social media research, because there are a lot of ideas going on. You have to just simply take the idea and incorporate it under your brand.
Okay, great, great, great. So, what is the biggest mistake you notice other brands and other ad campaigns doing right now in this trend, according to you?
The biggest mistake, okay, one mistake that I can see is people are not, even if this is against performance marketing, but let me be very honest with you here now. I have seen some brands who are completely dependent on performance marketing. The day they stop running ads, they don't get any single sales. Their sales goes to zero. This is a very, very negative, thing basically. If you are running a brand, you should have some organic outreach as well. You should have some organic traffic acquisition as well. If you're only dependent on ads and you're only running ads and the moment you stop the ads, you're not getting any sales, then there is a big problem with you, right? Then you need to devise the whole strategy because your ad should be able to create an impact in your audience mind. If they make an impact, they're gonna remember you, right? They're gonna remember you from your ad and then they're gonna convert into an organic audience. But if they're not remembering you, that means your ads are not working. You're just simply disappeared in the noise. So in order to make them remember your ad, your brand, you have to ensure you're not dependent on performance marketing only. You're also investing on organic media as well. You're also investing on organic traffic acquisition as well.
Yeah. And I think along with the ad spends, we always have to a personal brand. We should focus on to make like nowadays big creators, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, those are jump into content creation along with the big brands. They try to troll something like Samsung troll to iPhone. iPhone put some tweet about the say, iPhone. This type of things they're doing to grab attention, still relevant to the market. Like organic marketing is most important in my point of view because I also do that organic marketing storytelling. I used to script for Instagram reels and editing that part of the department. So some people, some brands are running a performance marketing ad, but along with that, they build the personal brand. They store their brand behind it, how they build the agency. So people can relate. Like about Apple, we have a story. Like story is very important. For Apple, we have a story in our head. Like the owner of Apple, one day he try Apple, he put the name of Apple, he took half Apple. The story behind the story with the organic marketing. It's a deadly combination. Like organic knowledge is storytelling.
You're right, Shiva Kumar. Yes. People like Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, if they start a new company, na, they don't even have to casket it because they on that level. They have made their personal brand so strong that any company, any industry they go into, it's gonna go bigger. It's gonna be huge, huge. People are eventually gonna spend money into those companies, which happened when Elon Musk acquired Twitter, which is now X. People started less in Twitter. The share price increased eventually, right? So this happened. Yes, you're right here. So definitely invest in your personal brand, which I normally do through LinkedIn. If you go write Farooq Shafi, you're gonna find a lot of content. And I also do LinkedIn personal branding sessions as well. Sometimes I visit any universities, give any lectures about how you can build your own personal brand. And that also, helps me deliver the knowledge that I have, right?
Yeah.
Because young people, young talent, they are like very enthusiastic. They want to learn a lot.
Yes, definitely.
Whatever that I can transfer, I am definitely doing my part of the job.
So okay. And what do you think? How do you balance like two category? Like one customer is his goal is to become a short term goal. Like he want to launch some product and he want to make money with it, like 1 million, 2 million. Then he want to shift somewhere else, which they are doing. And another one come to you and he say, my long term vision to grow this brand, this product. So how you think? Like how you manage this both client with both strategy, what you will be apply on that things.
I personally like the second persona of the client who is actually, like actually have a mindset to build a company in the long run. That's the ideal client. You know why? Because he's not going to be a pain in the ass for you. He's not going to be a person who is gonna pinch you again and again and again. What happened? What is the sales? What is not happening? That disturbs you as a media buyer, as a performance marketer. Someone
Yes.
who wants to make quick money, they're gonna make your life a mess. That client make your life a mess. They consistently ask questions. They call you up in the night. They call you in the morning. They call you anytime. They just want to know how much sales we did, which actually disturbs your momentum, right? So
Yes.
personally, I never take clients who are like, I have this product. Please make 1 million sales in 1 month. And that's it. I never work with them. I always like to work with people who have a mission, who have a vision, who are not looking to make quick money because quick money always, like it just disappear. If your graph goes up with speed like this, it's gonna come down like this within a second. Growth is always very steady, and like the growth graph goes like this. In a way, it is a little fluctuation, and then it is steady. It is growing. With the average speed, and then you can see it. But when there is a hike like this, you're zero, and one day you are at 1,000, then it's gonna come to minus 1,000 again. So no, I always work with clients who are motivated, who have a long term vision. I never work with people who are only aggressive towards I want to make money, I want to make money, I want to make money. No, never.
Okay. You just do not go close that client.
I never close those clients because I told you na, those clients are gonna be a nightmare for you. And every agency owner knows that. Few
Yes.
so okay, this also depends, Shiva Kumar. If the product of that client is very good, na, like if I personally see, yeah, this product has high potential, I should take the bet. Then I'm gonna do it. What if the product is like a hoodie, which is already very saturated market? I'm never gonna do that
Yeah.
unless they have a long term vision.
Yeah. Got it. So yeah, but for this time, for suppose someone new buys, he has zero knowledge about digital marketing, zero knowledge about ad campaign, but he just saw somewhere digital marketing is good career for them. If he put their blood, sweat, and discipline and consistency to learn, what would be a roadmap to what the first step they should learn, then next. So what we can how they can learn in first for suppose in 6 months. Do you get my point? How they start, yeah, why, how they start their current career.
Okay. So I'm just gonna tell you how I did, but it depends on person to person. Their journey is going to differ. What I did was initially I started watching videos on YouTube. I did courses. Umar Taskir, I think you already know that guy. Umar Taskir is a very, very famous Indian YouTuber. He actually do a lot of tutorials around digital marketing, different topics. I watched him, time fan of that guy. I have watched almost every playlist of that person. So I think that is the first person that comes to my mind, Umar Taskir. Then there is another guy which is Isaac Randansky. He's also a Google Ads expert. Definitely you can watch his content on YouTube. So I started learning like that. I went to YouTube, I learned something, and then what I did was I started doing some free internships and taking some free clients like this. I go to a business owner in my local area. Let's say there is a real estate company around the corner. I go to them, I tell them, I'm going to manage your social media, I'm going to run an ad campaign. And if you don't get any results, if you don't see any growth, you don't pay me anything. And 90% of the time, these business owner agree. Okay.
Yes.
So this is what you have to do. Go to them, their offices, tell them, I'm a social media, I am learning this and that, I have done this certification. You can also do free certifications, by the way, from Google, from Udemy, from Meta. Get the certification and add them on your portfolio. Maybe create a portfolio and show them. I want to do this for your brand. If you don't get any results, you don't pay me. So if they once they see some progress, I'm gonna be very honest with you. This is how I did. I used to show them some progress, their number of following is growing, their number of likes is growing, their numbers of views is growing, their ad campaign is generating some qualified leads. So they used to pay me, right? So this is how I did it. YouTube is free university. Please utilize that. And then for practical experience, start looking out opportunities around you. There are so many opportunities around you. You're just underconfident to find them out. So be confident, visit shop to shop, knock 100 doors shamelessly, and you're gonna get your opportunity. This is what I did. I have so shameless. Even today, if I reach to a point zero where I have nothing, my bank balance is zero, I have no agency, everything is gone. I am again gonna go door to door telling people this is what I do, and then I'm gonna close a client.
Okay, great. So first 3 4 months they have to watch YouTube videos, tutorials, basic knowledge of psychology behind marketing, Google ads, SB ads. Then he initially
One thing I would add here is, if possible, please learn about neuromarketing and consumer behavior. These two things, you learn these two things, you are going places. Neuromarketing and consumer behavior are the two main things where a lot of big brands are investing, right? And they have already invested a lot of millions of dollars. So if you learn about neuromarketing, how the mind works, how a consumer brain works, if you know that science, you're gonna sell to anyone, regardless of the fact, regardless of their demography, regardless of their buyer persona, anything. If you know how their brain works. So please, with digital marketing, also consider neuromarketing in digital marketing and what is consumer behavior, consumer psychology. Then you're good.
okay. And simply down this, tell me how like first month, third month, second month, and what they should learn. Like first Google ad or FB ad or just straight jump in the ad campaign, and what structure should be.
The structure is not about tool. Google ad, Facebook ad are just tools. I always say a thing to everyone: never become a tool oriented person that you know how to utilize a tool but you don't know about marketing. Your first step is to understand marketing as a whole, the field marketing, why marketing, what is marketing, how marketing works, right? What is marketing manipulation? What is consumer manipulation? You have to understand, because marketing most of the time is an illusion, right? So you have to understand, how do I build that illusion around my customer's mind? Once you know that, once you learn the technique of marketing, once you're good at marketing, once you know all the methods, then understanding the tool or learning to run a tool is not a big deal. You can watch some videos on YouTube, you can learn about running a tool. But if you don't know about marketing, you can never become a good marketer, right? That's one thing that I tell everyone. In order to become a good marketer, you should know what marketing is. But if you know how to run Facebook ads and Google ads, but you don't know what marketing is, you're not gonna do anything. Your campaigns are gonna flop.
Yes, yes, yes. Got it, got it. So this is a roadmap for to become digital happiness.
Yeah, you know what's the best thing you can do is actually go outside, look at a shopkeeper, anyone who has a shop, anyone who is there doing their own business, who is interacting with hundreds of people daily. Look at them, look at their psychology, how they're communicating, how they're selling their stuff. Learn them. At least observe them 2 to 3 months, and then side by side also learn about Facebook ads, Google ads on YouTube. Like, you have to just simply, with a discipline, you have to invest your time into multiple things. So make sure you have a better schedule to follow. And I think 3 months is more than enough to become a marketer who can actually start delivering something. So 3 months is more than enough. You should not be taking more than 3 months. If you're taking more than 3 months, that means you're missing out something. So a marketer always must have a proper schedule. If you are not very organized in your life, you cannot become a better marketer, because marketing is all about organization, right? How you are doing the planning of the campaign, the execution, everything takes a perfect schedule, na? So first, be disciplined with your life, be very consistent with your life, and then start learning day to day basis. In 3 months, you're gonna be very strong with marketing, and then simply execute it.
Okay, great, great, great. So what about AI? How you utilize AI in your agency right now? How do you use and how you use your managed team to AI or to run ad campaign, or how basically AI rule in your life right now in your career?
So, okay, let me tell you how AI is helping me at the moment. Number one thing AI has helped me is communication. Before, what used to happen is, if any of our client get any order on their store, there was a manual person who confirmed the order, and then who dispatched the order, and then who tell the vendor, the delivery shipping company. Now everything is run through AI. There is one AI that we have created through Make, which is an AI creation platform. You can create AI agents from there. Now, once the order is received, to end solution is done by AI. AI is going to take the order, do the confirmation call, forward the order to the manufacturing team, forward the order to the delivery team, and then once the order is delivered, AI also gonna send a notification to the customer that your order is delivered. Please give us a rating or review or stars. Everything is in the e-commerce market. Things are shifting to AI.
Yeah. Which tools are you talking about? Which AI?
The tool is Make Make, Make. Through Make, you can create AI agents. Second is Zapier. You can create AI agents through that. And the third one, which I'm going to recommend, which is very, very famous these days, which is N8N. This is an amazing AI agent creation tool. You can automate any manual business, right? N8N is a tool that can replace social media, that can replace your finance team, that can replace your, anything that you're doing manually right now. It can replace that, right? Even as I told you earlier, my statement was, I am into performance marketing as long as I see that this is a good field. I know that maybe in the next 3 years or 4 years, AI is also gonna come to the performance marketing side, which is it is already moving its step already forward. So my strategy is simple. I am learning AI already. I have joined some master classes for AI, in which I am learning about AI, about ChatGPT, Perplexity, how to create AI agents, how to convert a manual task into an automated task. So I'm already learning those things, because I know in future, if you don't know how to use AI, you can easily be replaced by AI. So in performance marketing, I am definitely learning AI. I'm doing a course side by side as well, because I have to be prepared for future. So this is the advice that I'm going to give to anyone who is watching this podcast. Please make sure that you know something about AI, and you at least know how to use one tool with perfection. So that way, nobody's going to be able to replace you, right? So that was basically all the story that I told you about how my career started, what I look into performance marketing, what I look into this field, and new that who are coming into this field. I know that AI is coming here and there, but still we have some time. We have 5 to 10 years. AI is not at its peak right now. It is still in its development phase right now. So it's gonna take years minimum for AI to come. So still you still have 10 years, guys. Do like obviously I'm going to say that please learn about performance marketing, learn about digital marketing, and also make sure how AI can support your skill set. So then you will be able to create a very strong personality which cannot be replaced with the future.
Yeah, thank you. We're gonna wrap up this, and thank you so much for your time and your knowledge and your guidance to the new people who really want to make a career in digital marketing. It's definitely gonna help this for the people.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I am definitely more than happy to join you here in this podcast. It was really good opportunity. I really love talking to you, understanding. In future, maybe we can discuss about more topics, right? There are so many other topics which we can discuss about. So we will definitely gonna do that. And
Yes.
just want to tell your audience that in First Squad, which is a startup I'm doing in Dubai, it is a premium gym and sportswear company for men and women. Firstsquad.com. You guys can definitely check it out. I am hiring interns right now. So anyone who wants to learn about e-commerce, who wants to learn about product marketing, who wants to learn about Shopify, who wants to learn about D2C marketing, I am hiring interns. Anyone who is looking at this podcast, they can reach out to me. Hello@FaruqShafi.com or maybe careers@firstsquad.com. I am definitely want to work with you guys. I want fresh talent. We can work. I can definitely transfer the knowledge which I have of e-commerce, and this can be great. So thank you so much, Shiva Kumar, for inviting me. It was wonderful talking to you.
Yeah, I definitely give a link of your company, your how to they can connect with you in description. Okay. So yeah.
Thank you.